and pounding I'm getting at home about keeping this to an hour. So Libby's in the audience like this, keeping an eye on what's going on. And there's nothing like family to tell you how you do and how you don't do. There's so many times when I've given these talks and people say, oh, you did such a great job. And I talk to my daughter, Izzy. Izzy, how'd I do? C+. No, not that good. It's fair. So welcome, 2024. I don't know why this is hitting me so differently than it has in the past. I just, 2024, it used to be it was 2002, just moments ago. And this chair is for our interpreter to come up here and do it, but it may be me in a little bit with a shawl on my lap trying to figure out how to give this talk. So I'd like to introduce, can you help me welcome Sandra Boyd, who is going to be our interpreter today. Sandra, you come on up. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's get going. First things first. If I can get this, there we go. Announcements. The lucky draw, right after this. 11 o'clock, the club. There's going to be giveaways, and I'll tell you what, I'm kind of excited about the giveaway this year. I think Rhonda Ferguson and Brenda Morris did an outstanding job. I think you're going to like what the giveaway is this year. But go there, get money on your card, go participate in the raffle, have fun, meet and greet people you haven't seen for a while, and please see at the bottom there that you will be notified by email about raffle award winners and the $10 flex on your card and so forth, and that will be forthcoming. So I hope to see you over there. Please take advantage of that if you can. We're going to have a busy spring. We're increasingly having a busy academic year, but we're going to have a busy spring. We're going to have Congressman Allred kicking things off here, holding an event of 100 influential African Americans on our campus. You can see from the list there, we have a couple groundbreakings that are going on, namely our Ag Complex and Game Bird Research Center. We have our, which is becoming more and more the norm, our student gathering, prospective student gathering days, a main event, and admitted student days, which are incredibly exciting to be a part of. One of the most important dates on this calendar is March 25th through the 28th, with our accrediting body, SAC-COC, coming to visit our campus, and that's going to be incredibly important. Let me just give you a quick update on that. I did a little bit during the fall assembly, but now we've progressed. We've submitted the self-study. We heard back from SAC-COC. They identified 18 concerns out of 72 standards. That seems like Ricky will say that's a passing grade, and I'll take that. But a lot of those we're not so worried about. A lot of those things are easily fixed and have been kind of fixed and identified in this focus report that is being ready for submission. Okay? But we do have a couple areas of concern that are a concern of ours, and we have to do a much better job at assessing and improving processes. And namely, that's in the area of core curriculum assessment, educational program assessment, and faculty qualifications, and how we determine that and so forth for the academic side of the house. And so we're going to be doing some work on that. We have, like I said, we have this SAC-COC visit coming up in March. I ask you that it's going to be all hands on deck. This is a campus-wide effort, and if Allison Soder and Ricky Dobbs need something from you in preparation of this, I would ask you prioritize that and make that happen as a priority of yours. So let's do this. I feel confident. Our folks feel confident that we're going to be coming out of this just fine, but let's not take any chances at all. Okay, another thing, I'll touch briefly on adverse weather events. You know, when I came here, I thought Texas and commerce was going to be the tropics and 80 degrees all the time and so forth. Well, the last 3-4 years, I think we're going to expect an adverse weather effect, okay? And again, your safety is our number one concern, okay? And we've had some revisions to system regulations and policies, and we had some modifications to university procedures. And I just want to brief you quickly on it. It addresses three classifications. The policies and procedures address 3 classifications. And the first one is probably the most unfortunate name I've ever heard in my life, is non-essential personnel, okay? But those are folks that are not, whether you're essential or non-essential, you're designated per policy, okay? Non-essential personnel that are not designated as essential personnel, i.e. coming to campus, UPD, residence halls, and so forth, will continue to stay at home and take administrative leave with pay, okay, until it's safe to come to campus, okay? That's non-essential personnel. And you will know whether you're essential personnel or non-essential personnel, again, per these definitions, okay? The second category is tweaked a little bit. We do have essential personnel, UPD, residence halls, and so forth, because we still have students that are going to be here. They need to do everything in their power to get to campus. And please, if you cannot get to campus without being safe, then please don't. We'll figure that out, okay? But there's going to be another category, essential personnel, that will be defined on a case-by-case ad hoc basis that will be designated in writing, documented as essential personnel during this adverse weather event. Okay, so this is not the greatest example in the world, but let's say that Nichelle Bonds needs a financial aid report due to the Department of Education the day after the adverse weather event. My hope and expectation would be that she works closely with Renee Walker and whoever Renee Walker needs to assemble this report, and Renee can do that from home, but she will ad hoc, in this case, be designated as an essential personnel to get that important report due to meet a federal due date, okay? And again, in writing, documented, case-by-case basis. And then faculty, we're going to do everything in our power when an adverse weather event occurs to transition our coursework to online. And please, I understand that there are going to be some faculty that can do that like this. There are going to be some faculty that need a little bit of time. I think what we're going to ask is do it as quickly as you can, okay? And I think that's important because these adverse events may last more than a day, okay? Now, I'm not in position, and nor will I be in a position to tell faculty how to teach their classes, okay? I'm going to leave it up to faculty to determine what is the best course of action for their students in their class, okay? Whether it's when we're trying to negotiate these adverse weather days, labs, quizzes, exams, homework, and so forth, meeting, not meeting, that's your call. That's not my call, okay? So we're going to rely on faculty, but we are going to talk about transitioning to online as fast as we possibly can. And so if we do, I hope we don't, but if we do have an adverse weather effect day, you're going to see an email that comes out essentially echoing and parroting whatever we're talking about here. Okay, this is the fun part of the spring assembly, okay? I get to announce Presidential Meritorious Service Awards. We're not going to have folks come up to the stage, but I do think it's important that we recognize some of the great work that is going on at our university. And please remember, these are folks that have been nominated by people across the university and their peers to receive this award, okay? So the first award are individual awards, okay? Individual awards. And these have a monetary award, a certificate. I think that HR has already processed direct deposit into people's accounts. And if you are going to receive a certificate, I think you do have to pick up that certificate from HR. So the first person, come on, Elvis Dang. Yeah. Okay. Job, Elvis. Okay. Second person, Jeremy Gomez. Now wait a minute. Look at these first two. Is this rigged or something? Is this our best and brightest Elvis that we have here? I don't know if it is, but it is. We have Kathy Giles that is going to be an award winner here. Okay, students' rights and responsibilities, and then finally Denise Rader from accounting and business. Congratulations on those peer campus recognition of everything you do. So we really appreciate everything you do for our university. Next, contract vendor award. And we typically award one of these. And I don't believe this person is going to be here, but I hope they are. And this person is near and dear to me because I have so much interaction with her, is Audrey Hunter from Sodexo. Audrey is so good. I don't know where Libby is, but this is great, Lib. This is great. Audrey, congratulations on a well-deserved award. And then team awards, okay? Team awards. We had 3 team awards that we'd like to give out. First one, College of Business Graduate Advising Team. Yeah, that's great to see. And I know they've been busy seeing everything that's going on in business with enrollment and advising. What a great testimony to that particular unit. Second, Office of Intercultural Engagement and Leadership. Seems like those guys win every year, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. And then thirdly, photography, videography. That group is great. They do a great job at our university. Michael Johnson, are you here? I got to get this right, okay? We have a kind of a celebrity in this last list here. Taylor Medford just received notification that he received an Emmy for work that he had done. I don't know if Taylor, are you here, Taylor? Taylor, are you here? Stand up if you are. Hey, stand up, Taylor. It was for something called, help me out, unresolved. And you're working in Arizona, right, when you're doing that. But I told Michael, we want a picture with you with your Emmy and post it splashed all over the website here. Good job, Taylor. Congratulations to all the winners. That's great. Okay, points of distinction. You all know you're doing great. I truncated this section a little bit. But first one, we have a new Texas A&M System Regents professor for 2023. And after all my lobbying, my mailing campaign, social media campaign, they still announced Daryl Harp as our professor. Daryl, can you stand up real quick? Congratulations on that. All kidding aside, some of you may or may not know, I've taken probably, 5, 6 classes in horticulture, a lot of them from Dr. Harp, and he merits this award. He does a great job in the classroom, and I couldn't be happier. We'll make a big to-do about this, Daryl. Good job. Congratulations. You've seen this data before. I always like to pull out the U.S. News & World Report's ranking. I'm not going to go through this. I know that when I pulled this out in the fall, some of the numbers tweaked. U.S. News issues it, and then they tweak some of the numbers. So some of the numbers are different, but it's not important. We're still doing a great job, okay? And then we go to, and you can't read this anyway because it's too small. But again, online, we're rocking it on online. What I did want to bring to your attention is this. A&M Commerce, back in the fall, was ranked 105 out of 434 national universities. Now, there's thousands of universities, but only about 400 plus national universities, all the big dogs in higher ed, okay? We are ranked 105. After a little bit of tweaking, we came in at, now we're at 58 in social mobility, which is a measure of how you empower your students, your disadvantaged first-gen students, through Pell Grant scholarships and so forth, to be able to go to school, get their degree, and improve their socioeconomic status. When you take a look at who we are and who is in what is our DNA, this is it, okay? And there ain't no one better in the Texas A&M system than us. We're the highest ranked school in the A&M system. We're tied with Kingsville, but kudos to them also. But I can't tell you how happy I am with this designation. And I'll talk a little bit more about this because, believe it or not, this topic's going to come up again when we start talking about research, believe it or not. So congratulations to you all and everything you all do to make this happen, and national recognition. I only have one slide in athletics, okay? we are doing well in athletics. We're 18 months into this transition from D2 to D1. And I thought it important to show this slide. It's not about a performance on the field necessarily. It's not about the big game we won, the games that are coming up. It's about 18 months in that our university has an athletic All-American in Max Epps, national All-American, and a national student athlete academic All-American in Dylan Edwin. What a tremendous testimony to our athletic department and particularly our coaches to groom all of our athletes and make both academics and performance on the field important. So can you help me thank Jim Curry and these two individuals? Good job, Jim. I don't know where you are, but I saw you earlier. Okay, so the important part, not the important part, the main thrust of this talk is to roll out our new strategic plan, a refresh of our strategic plan. And it's not quite done. We still have to send it to the system and get some input on that. So there might be some little tinkering going on there and so forth. But what a tremendous effort. I'd like to personally thank Cece Gassner, who served as a project manager of this event, of this process. And I'd like to thank the co-chairs of the Strategic Plan Updating Committee, Amanda Horn and Dr. Michael Tapia, who served as co-chairs to really make this happen. And I saw a lot of activity, a lot of open forums, a lot of outreach. They did a great job. If you didn't have input or provide input to this plan, it's beyond me how you didn't, because there was a lot of reach out to the campus to say, what are we doing? How can we do it better? What should the plan say, and so forth. So, Tammy, I know you ultimately took this on as a project, so thank you for your efforts on this too. Okay? So our mission, new mission, because we use it all the time, we decided to make it our own. We transform lives. Okay? That's what we do. Okay? And I want to just take a moment to talk a little bit about this. Here's my take, and this is just us talking now. This is my take. This is getting a little harder to do. Okay? I feel like we are getting increasingly a different type of student coming to our university. And when I reach out to my peers, they see the same thing. For example, one of the things we're hearing is students are not passing some classes because they simply don't turn in homework. Okay? Didn't have to in high school. They may be COVID babies, I don't know. But I think there's something in the preparation and maybe developing some bad habits when it comes to education that we are inheriting these kids. Notice I didn't say one word about the quality of the student. Okay? When I talk to our faculty and talk with them, they say the quality's still there. They're just a different breed of cat altogether. Okay? So this is becoming increasingly harder to do. And when you take our vision statement, our new vision statement, you see it's kind of littered with all these words you've seen before: social mobility, benefits the region, innovation, career readiness, career preparedness, and so forth. But the word I want to just talk about in a second is student-ready university. So we're inheriting these students. Are we student-focused? I think so. I think we're getting there. Are we student-centric? We're getting there. Student-ready, that may mean something else. And that means something else to me, and I hope we can have a dialogue on our campus what that means. What that may mean, or what it means to me, is that, again, this different breed of cat that we're getting, not less talented, different breed of cat that we're getting, are we meeting their needs, academic, professional, personal to a degree, needs, or are we setting a bar that is just going to be unrealistic for them to obtain? And when I say that, you know what I think? I just can read people's minds. Oh boy, here we go. It's all about the numbers from Mark. Just get the students in there. You want me to pass them, get them out. It's all about enrollment. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being a student-ready university that places a premium on student engagement and creates targeted, unique initiatives that acknowledges the fact that not every student in the classroom, not every student in student affairs is at the same level of college readiness. And some artificial bar that you meet, if you don't meet, flunked, okay? Or if you can't meet this particular item in student affairs, out, okay? That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. And when I talk to some of our faculty about what do we do? How do we handle this? How do we move forward? And I want to come up with two examples. And I don't want this to become the Ricky Dobbs presentation here, but I was talking to Ricky about this, and he told me the story. He was teaching in his class, and in the back of his mind, gnawing in the back of his mind, he was saying, they're not getting this. And he was talking, he goes, stopped and said, what are we doing here? How am I doing? What are you doing? What are you learning? Let's talk about this. What can I do differently? What can you do differently? Okay? Taking that extra step back, realizing not everyone is saying, give us more. I'm there. I'm there with you. I'm properly prepared. I know how to do this. I just had a discussion with Andrew Baker, one of our shining stars over in history, yesterday. And here's what he's thinking. And and it did my heart feel good to learn that history is really, as an example, and I'm sure there's a lot of the departments and faculty doing this already, taking this issue on. And Andrew told me that for the first 3 weeks in some of their courses, they work just as much on the soft skills as they do the hard skills. For example, they may lecture for 20 minutes and say, put your pens down. Tell me in your notes, what are the key points, key takeaways from this? Tell me what that means. Tell me what you learned. Give me the feedback and so forth. And for the first 3 weeks of classes, they do that and get the student acclimated, okay? Get the student acclimated. And in this age of chat, GPT, cell phones, access to anything you want, another approach that Andrew mentioned that he's taken and folks in his department are taking is if you're not so keen as a student to do work outside and do homework, then we're going to start ramping up the work we do in class. And instead of a 5 to 10 page paper outside of class, we may work on a 1-page paper in class. We may work on projects in class, okay? I'm not asking Andrew, pass all the kids, because we need the numbers. What I'm asking Andrew, and he is responding accordingly, is to engage with your students and do a great job. And after talking to him and talking to more faculty, we are doing that. Again, it does my heart good that we could write off this We Transform Lives, but I truly believe when I take a look at our staff and our faculty, we are equipped to do this, and we know how to do this. And I feel like if we don't know how to do it, and a lot of people don't, we'll try to figure out how to do it. And that's kudos to you. That's the challenge that lays ahead for us. Okay, spent a little time on that, but I hope, Tammy, Ricky, we can have a campus discussion and have faculty senate and have staff council help us work through these particular issues. Okay, first strategic goal, ensure student preparedness, not a lot changed there, but develop students' critical thinking, analytical skills, and information literacy. This is an important one, and I'll come back to this slide again, but I can't tell you, well, I'll give you an example of how we do this. I'm so proud and so happy that our library has taken on being the flag bearer for our Adobe Creative Campus initiative, and introducing and working and training and developing skills of how to use Adobe software and incorporate those both for our students and faculty in the classroom. What a great testimony of what we're trying to do as a university in terms of student preparedness, okay? I do want to say this, and I took a step back when I was putting this together. I guess I've never really acknowledged in one of these talks the great work that our library faculty and staff do, and Dean Dunlap does as their leader over there. And this is a bold statement, but I truly believe it. I think we have the best library faculty and staff in the state of Texas, from what I can see across the board. Can you help me acknowledge that? And I can scientifically statistically defend that statement. Because I asked Sarah, are we? She goes, yeah. Okay, there you go. We're good, right? So, but you take a look at not only Adobe, what they're working on. They've created a website for current news and higher ed. They're working hard on open educational resources. They're working towards establishing themselves as a patent and trademark resource center, a research center from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. They're embedding people in buildings and colleges, the research librarians to come and help folks. In fact, when you walk out of here, there's an office right across the way here. So they are just doing some really neat and cool things. I got the other half of the staff I got to show you here. Neat and cool things, and they're fundamentally at the core of a lot of things we're doing and part of our strategic plan. So again, library, thank you so much for everything you're doing for our university. Number 2, provide instructional excellence through a variety of innovative programs. This could be our new MS in artificial intelligence. This could be our, I know Jen Schrader and the graduate college is working with departments that develop 4+1 master's programs. I'm really excited about that. So again, thinking out of the box, being innovative, which is kind of our calling card our innovation is our calling card within the A&M system. Offer relevant and experiential learning opportunities. How do we take our expertise, outside's expertise, industry's expertise, people that hire our students' expertise, and our own faculty expertise, and relay that into the classroom? Here's a couple examples. And I think this is so cool. You may say, okay, it's kind of cool. I think this is so cool. I talked about this at the fall assembly about Dr. Villanueva Russell, almost get that, Yvonne, leading this program funded by the provost, faculty-led student initiatives that do just that. It's probably hard to read this, but we have faculty that have applied to create experiences for the students that advance their education. Not just book learning, but visiting facilities, having guest lecturers come in and so forth, and really expand the learning experience within the classroom. This is so cool, and I know they're going to continue this. We're going to continue this, right, Tammy? Yes, and I look forward to more and more, and I'd love to share this slide, or if you have any questions, I'd love to have Dr. Vakahasi share this slide. This is exactly what we should be doing. I just put this up. This is a College of Business career fair. This is the kind of stuff we should be doing too. And we have a student of ours, Nathan, that I think the main reason I have this up here because I just like seeing our students in a suit talking to people. And I just think it's so neat that that's happening. Continue to do things like this. And then I want to highlight someone, Brandy Estes, who's a nursing faculty, that before she took this job, she was a flight nurse on emergency flights. And when you read this article, it was obvious how excited and how dedicated and the passion she felt being that. But she has now since taken that and now is a faculty member in our nursing department and instilling that knowledge into our students and taking that experience and making the classroom experience different, better. And again, that is a perfect example of everything we should be, and we have a lot of people doing this. I thought I was just intrigued by this whole story. So Brandy, thank you. If you're out there, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Number 2, elevate research. We're going to stay on course. Notice the second bullet here. Advance and support the research and creative activities of students, faculty, and staff. That's fundamentally what we should be doing. Getting the word out, publishing, disseminating information, okay? Both in the scientific engineering, but also the humanities, arts, and so forth, in these various, getting the word out. There's nothing that adds more prestige to a university than research and creative activity, okay? We're going to continue to hit that hard. But if you go to the first bullet, which is a goal to strive to become an R2 high research institution, and that is based upon a number of different metrics, but the 2 primary ones are research expenditures over a, I think, 5-year Brent rolling period, and the number of PhDs, okay? And I can say that our research expenditures for fiscal year 23 exceeded $7 million. I think the year before that, it was like 4.9 million. We have exceeded that threshold in the name of Carnegie. We've always exceeded the PhDs in the name of the metric for Carnegie. So keep your fingers crossed. We may be on the right track, and maybe by the end of this calendar year, we may actually have been acknowledged as an R2 university. But let me say this, that comes with obligations and responsibilities. If we become, even now, if we're going to become an R2 university, we have to act like an R2 university. Okay? There was an example when I was back at a previous institution in my old VPR days, when there was a paper that was published, and there was this group of authors said, let's go get so-and-so to review this paper. And then let's put them on the paper. Okay? It's a fifth author. Okay? Did they really do anything to merit that? No, but we kind of, they reviewed it and so forth. Well, what happened is that that paper was tagged with some kind of research misconduct. And when I went to go talk to the authors, of course, the fifth author said, hey, I just reviewed this. Can't help it. Don't put your name on the paper. I don't care. I know we put a lot of stock in higher ed about the first author versus the fifth author. In my mind, and the mind of academia, the fifth author is just as important as and has the same obligations as the head author. So in terms of, you have a lot of word coming out about plagiarism and misconduct and integrity and so forth. I've asked, the provost and I have asked Brent Donham to take a good look at this, and let's start ramping up some training in this area that we instill upon our faculty and staff, because I want staff also to consider writing grants and so forth. So that you're going to see that initiative coming up. But I believe we have some work to do in this area. Number 3, create an inclusive community. The second bullet there, talking a little bit more about setting up people, faculty, staff, students for success. The first bullet, talking a little bit more about a sense of belonging. And a sense of belonging for our students probably starts in the Office of Student Advocacy and Support. And Nikki's one of those people that I never hear a bad thing about Nikki at all. She's doing a great job as the executive director of that unit. But talking to Judy Sackfield, VP Sackfield, there's a big initiative going on to take some of the units that report to Nikki in student advocacy and support, and some of the units that don't report to her but kind of mesh nicely with that, and combining them and putting them all together in the Performance Arts Center. Okay? So almost a one-stop shop of support, whether it's a new student on Buds, and I'm not going to announce that yet, Judy, because I don't know how official that is and who that will be. Student Legal, Jay Garrett, offers free advice to our legal advice to our students, Lion Wardrobe, Clothing Closet, Food Pantry, and so forth. What a nice way to be able to provide those support services to a group of students that really need that. And we do have students that come from tough backgrounds. Sometimes their behavior doesn't manifest itself the way we want it to happen. They conduct themselves on campus. We have other units like the care team and so forth that help out with that. We do have some troubled kids. In fact, here is an example of Lucky talking to one of our most troubled kids on our campus, trying to resolve issues here. All joking aside, if you talk to our students, you talk to athletes, mental health is one. That's what they worry about. And so I can't, even though I made a little joke there, this is a serious topic, and I do believe we have the right people in the right spot to move this forward. In terms of creating an opportunity for success, and you understand that these are just examples across all these goals and so forth, examples of stuff I do. This is an exclusive list. This is just examples of things we do. Investing in us, we launched this in the fall. We had over 250 individuals that participated in this event. It was great. And I actually took one of the courses in social media with Scott Wheeler, and it was a great class. And it really is to develop different types of skills and an investment in our faculty and staff that want to take these classes and develop that resume and develop that skill set to continue moving forward at the university. So again, an example of what can we do to help you achieve your professional, academic, personal goals. And this is one way in which we do that. Number 4, align our initiatives with our rural-urban identity. Okay, the second bullet there is a remnant from my old days of, and I just love the wording of this, leverage the assets of the university to strengthen partnerships, to promote the health, economic, cultural, and social needs of the community in which we reside in. I think that's so incredibly important. And we do bring a tremendous amount to the table. You know, we have people have come up to me and say, we're not doing enough to community engagement. We need a VP for community engagement. We need a community engagement person. I don't think we do. We have a lot of stuff going on that we are reaching out. We just had a lunch with the Commerce Chamber of Commerce. And again, it isn't just about commerce. It's about DFW and rural Northeast Texas that we have this engagement. And a couple of examples. Our College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, along with the Gardeners on the Go Club, worked together with Commerce ISD to assemble and put together a greenhouse at A.C. Williams School. And it's used as an educational opportunity for us to instill this information about plants and providing that greenhouse with plants that students can explore and coming up with brochures on how for plant care and so forth. That again is an opportunity that complements and provides experiential opportunities for those students, even at the elementary level. So I think Michaela's probably took the lead on this, Daryl, is that right? On that, Michaela Blitzo doing a great job over there. Number 2, this was in the fall, and I thank our philanthropy and engagement group for doing this, but I also thank Brent Donham to be a part of this, but a lot of kudos main kudos go to Dr. Andrea Graham for this partnership with Encore. Encore came up with a substantial amount of money to fund and outfit and equipped a power lab over in our engineering complex. And we had a great turnout, and I had a bunch of pictures of the Encore representatives, the big wigs at Encore that were very proud at doing this, but I decided to go with the picture that is a picture of the beneficiaries of this, namely the students in that program and Dr. Graham. Again, it provides hands-on opportunity in partnership with Encore to expand our educational horizons at the university and the College of Sciences and Engineering. Planetarium, Dr. Cherie Davis. We also have Stephen Alamon that are part of this. Stephen is the manager. Cherie is the director of this. This is, I never mentioned this before, but everyone loves the planetarium. And I went there, boy, this is probably late fall, and there was, the planetarium was hosting a group of seniors. And these folks were probably 70, 80, 90 years old. And they were kind of waiting in that plaza area. And as I walked in, I saw all these little kiddos coming out and just gave them all high fives as they came out, okay? And then they lined up all the senior citizens and I gave them high fives going in. And it was just a really neat dynamic there of spanning the age between the two groups and how something like this can capture the fancy, whether you're this tall or you're a little more seasoned than the rest of the population. And talking to the folks from the planetarium, the senior group loved it and wants to come back. That's what we want, okay? And according to Cherie, we have, I asked her, how many do we serve? How many do we host? How many people? She said, thousands. Cherie, I got to get that number from you sometime, but we host thousands of people that visit that asset to the university. I'd be remiss, and I hope you don't get tired of it, because I don't get tired of it, that we also have a police UPD force that does a lot to help the community and complement Commerce PD. Okay? We have to take care of our own campus, but when the situation arises, they do an outstanding job of helping and working with Commerce PD to offset any workforce or people needs they may have. And so every year, the presidents of the universities in the system get to stand up and talk at the programmatic budget review. And one of the topics we talked about were our UPD. And I said, unabashedly, we have the best police force in the state of Texas. And of course, all these other presidents, after I talked, they said, no, we do, and no, we do. Well, I'm going to go back in April and defend our crown as the best police force, plus best police department in the state of Texas. So, Chief, all the officers, thank you so much for everything you do. Can you help me? Thank you. Thanks them. Finally, modernizing university operations and business practices. Okay? We still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of work to do in this area in policies and procedures and how we present ourselves to the outside, how we increase communications. This last one, this increase in diversified revenue streams. People may say, that's interesting. What does that mean? It doesn't mean go to Tina and say, give me money, I need to do something. What that means is let's think outside the box. Let's think about opportunities for federal grants, foundation grants, state appropriations, philanthropic activities, and so forth to augment and support some of these really neat and cool initiatives that we've been working on as a university. Okay? There may be a time when we need to put our hand out to Tina and finance, but let's think outside the box. And I'll give you an example. CBE, competency-based education, right now is pursuing a number of different grants and opportunities, maybe I shouldn't say that, with some foundations, but to support and subsidize some of the work they're doing, okay? So I just wanted to make mention of that. Incorporate best practices, collaborate. First one, new IT department. I'm showing my age here, but this is a Commodore. Anyone remember the Commodore 64? Yeah. It probably added and subtract, struggled with multiplication and division, okay? But I put this up here because now we are back-sourcing IT. We now have an IT department. We're not necessarily contracting out to a third party anymore. And Jeremy Gomez is going to be the director, or is the director, because on November 29th, this transition happened. And this is kind of a shot at Jeremy because I couldn't find a decent picture on his website that talked about what he was trying to do. So I pulled this out. But I'm really excited about that. I think we got the right guy in the right spot and the right team being assembled to carry us through and work on every IT need we have at this university. We talk about things like running fiber to the south of campus because we are going to have an event center and an ag complex and a game bird research center out there and so forth, and we need that connectivity, okay? We are talking about increasing cell reception in various buildings so we're less reliant on physical phone lines and phones that are sitting on the table, and how do we make that happen? So I'm really excited about this opportunity to move this forward, and again, I think we have the right people in the right spot to make it happen. I'm going to bring up investing in us again, because it kind of goes along with the lines of communication, okay? Yvonne taught a class, US 497, I think it was, in leadership, but it was a design thinking class about taking problems that people see exist at the university and coming up with solutions for those. And when Yvonne asked Tammy, and Tammy asked the executive team, you guys want to hear what they came up with? We were like, yeah, let's hear what they came up with. Okay? They took on Dallas, they took on organizational things at the university, and we had 3 teams that came in and presented to us in these triads, and it was so enlightening that happened. And I can't believe that we didn't have the mechanism to hear from the people that have all the great ideas at the university instead of trying to distill things out ourselves. And I made a commitment to Tammy and Yvonne that we're going to continue to do this because we need to hear not only the problems, but we need to hear the solutions. My good friend Lavelle says he has a relative that says, don't come to me with a problem without 3 solutions, right, Lavelle? So that's what we're going to work on. And they just came up with great things. Let me just give you one. They talked about we all have these retreats okay? And we're going to have a retreat for enrollment management, okay? Well, in the future, why don't we have joint retreats and have enrollment management, I'm just pulling this out of the hat, invite other people from other units that they support or support them and bring them around the table and have that kind of interaction. I just think that is brilliant, and I hope that we can embrace that as a campus, as an example. There will certainly be more to come on that. Talking about modernizing the university, the way that we recruit, bring prospective students on campus, onboard students once they get on campus, and then create programs once they're on campus is light years ahead of where we were even 2 years ago. Light years ahead, okay? And the first one is I want to give kudos to Ryan Horn for campus visits, and Dally. I got to give the kudos to Dally on that too. They're responsible for Admitted Student Day, main events that they're just knocking it out of the park on this. And again, it's night and day. The orientation team is reports through him too. They're doing a great job and really representing the university so well. And it's just a great thing to see. When I would take a look at new student and family programs, headed up by Craig Case and Marcus Hawkins, they are knocking it out of the park once the students get here, and you have the ROAR team and the orientation and so forth. Again, light years of where we are, and they bring a certain amount of excitement. Now you look at this picture and you see Marcus there. That is actually Marcus in a period of quiet self-reflection compared to the way he usually is. Okay, but I can't be happier that we're working that. And then once we get him here, we resurrected a thing called Lion Camp, where we have student leaders that spend, a weekend? Yeah, a couple days. And in this case, we had over 300 new students, transfer freshmen and so forth, that come in that are new to the Lion family. And it's just a time to take a step back, go to an isolated place, and just have fun. And when I had some lunches with people, with students, after the start of the fall semester, 2 or 3 lunches, you know what they brought up? This. This is great. How do we make this happen? How do we do this again? This is outstanding. Mark, if you're worried about the student who comes, mom and dad or family moves them in, they go in their room and you never see them again except for class. They come back to class and they lock themselves in a room. This is a way to get them out of the room and establish those relationships. And that's the key word, is that why they're so high on this is because it established relationships. And those 40-plus student leaders, it was palpable that they owned this. They felt like they owned the success of these 300-plus students that participated in this. Not only now, but they envision it being a 4-year relationship. So again, great job, great job. And this is with student engagement with Amanda Horn. And I can't go all through the list of names, but there are so many good things going on over there, whether it's Jeremy or Taryn or Lauren or Taylor or Juan, whoever that may be, they're doing great things above and beyond this in terms of student engagement. So student engagement, shout out to you, okay? Next steps in our strategic plan, we're going to translate the document. Let me take that back. I should have added a bullet. We still got to hear from the system on this. The chancellor has ultimate decision-making on this, but I've been told he has already delegated it to his vice chancellor and Billy Hamilton. So we got to meet with them, maybe tweak it here and there, okay? So that has to be an added bullet. But I'd like to translate it. We'd like to format it, make it look pretty for external offices. The next step, and this is something we did not do with the first plan, and I'm so glad we did. We are going to transition from the updating of the plan to the implementation plan, where we start identifying things that we can measure for each of these goals and statements and so forth, so we can start tracking those. And Dr. Hattie Powell and Greg Lubiani are going to take the lead as co-chairs in that group, and I'm looking forward to great things coming out of that group. And also finalize a list of core values at the university Academic Affairs has already taken that on. They already have a great start. So let's take those and use that as a working document to figure out what are the qualities that we need in order to pull off the plan. Civility, integrity, accountability, whatever that may be. Okay? So I always have to ask this question at the end. What do you do at Commerce? And of course, we always try to say we transform lives. Okay? But if I can go back to the students that we deal with now, our mission statement is not, we transform lives when it's easy. We transform lives by passing everyone because that's what Mark wants. Or we flunk everyone. That's not what we're about. We have to dedicate ourselves, and we do have so many people. I hear a handful of other schools that have this tagline. I would not entrust anyone with this tagline except our great faculty and staff to be able to pull this off. You are uniquely qualified to pull this off, and I have the utmost confidence in the world that you're going to be able to do that. We transform lives because it's the right thing to do, and we want to set our kids that enter our doors to come in and go on and do great things and be a part of that transition, social mobility, whatever you want to call it. We have a long semester ahead of us. I wish you all the best. Always love to talk to you, and go Lions. Thank you so much for everything.